Okay, we're going to create a foldable for your notebook so that you'll always be able to reference back to it to find the steps for writing linear equations in slope-intercept form. So the first thing you need to do is to fold your sheet of paper hot dog style. So all that means is that you're going to fold it along the long edge. So you'll notice that when you fold it, you'll have writing linear equations in slope-intercept form along the folded area. And we're not actually going to glue it. It says to glue here, but it takes too long to glue. So what I want you to do is to staple it along that line so that it stays together and it folds at the appropriate location. So once you get all of it stapled together, folded and stapled together, then clip along the dotted lines so that each of the 4 flaps are free to fold up and down. Don't cut the back part of it, just the top flap where it has the different words. So once you get all of that taken care of, you can resume the video, but stop it right now until you get everything folded. Okay, the first flap that we're going to work on is slope-intercept flap. So we're going to learn to write a linear equation in slope-intercept form if we were given a slope and a y-intercept. This is the easiest one to do. So go ahead and open up that flap and we'll start recording the information. So here on this flap we have example number 1. It asks us to write an equation of the line if the line has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 2. So we need to record the fact that we have a slope of 3, so that is our m. So our m equals 3, and our y-intercept, remember, is b, and that equals -2. So you must recall, too, that our slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So once you have that information, it makes it very easy to record a linear equation if you're given that information. So now we simply rewrite our slope-intercept form, substituting in the values of m and b. So y equals m, which is 3, times x, plus our b, but our b is a -2, so we don't have to put that plus sign in. So this is the answer to example number 1. So again, we have a similar problem as in example number 2, where we've been given the slope of -1/4, and we've also been given the y-intercept of 5. And again, we're going to use the same slope-intercept form to write our equation. So we'll just rewrite that equation. Y equals, our slope of m is -1/4 times x plus b, and our b this time is 5. And that's the answer to example number 2. Our next flap is writing a linear equation in slope-intercept form if we were given a graph. So we're going to open up flap number 2 and record the information for those examples. Okay, so now we have to write an equation of a line given a graph. So we're still going to use our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, but this time we have a graph. So from the graph, we'll have to find our slope and our b, which is our y-intercept. But we've seen how to do that before. So in order to find the slope, we need 2 designated points, 2 distinct points that we can use in order to count our rise over our run. Remember, slope equals rise over run, and our rise is in our y direction, so we're going to start with this point here, and we're going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a rise of 4, and to get to the other point, we have to run 1, 2. So we have a rise of 4, a run of 2, and that simplifies down to 2, which ends up being our slope. Okay, so now we also need to get our y-intercept, or our b. And recall that the line, wherever the line crosses your y-axis, is your y-intercept. And it crosses right there at y equals -1. So since it crosses at y equals -1, our b equals -1. So now we have our slope and we have our y-intercept, so we have to simply substitute that into our equation, and we get y equals 2x minus 1. And that is the answer for example number 3. Example 4 is very similar. Again, we're going to use y equals mx plus b, and the first thing we need to find is our slope. So we have two distinct points on our line, one here and one here, and we're simply going to count our rise over our run to get our slope. So our rise is simply going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we rose 4, and we're going to run -1 this time because we want to get to that second point. So we have a +4 divided by a -1. That's simply going to get us a -4. So now our slope equals -4. And we can also tell that our slope is negative because reading from left to right, as we traverse our line from left to right, we are heading down. And so that tells us that we have a negative slope. All right, the last thing that we need in order to get our linear equation is our y-intercept, or our b. And so we look to see where our line crosses our y-axis, and it crosses it right here at y equals 1. So since it crosses at y equals 1, that means our b equals 1. So using those two pieces of information, we're able to rewrite our linear equation so that, with substituting the values in, so that we get y equals, our slope is -4, x plus 1. And that is the equation for this particular line. Now that you've taken some notes on this, see if you can work the worksheet that goes along with your notebook. Eventually you'll attach this worksheet into your notebook so that you'll have some other examples. So work on these on your own, stop the video, and then come back and you'll see the answers. Here are the answers to those 4 problems. Check your work and make sure you have them correct before moving on.